boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. Man, today's going to be a very interesting day, and you guys are probably seeing this on the day that Hurricane Helene, which will be Category 4 Hurricane Helene, hits the USA. You're probably going to be on that day. And I'm going to be talking about other stuff like the where the hurricane's going. This video is mainly going to be about the hurricane because there really ain't nothing going along with the severe weather, but yeah. So if you look right here in the little X, you can see Hurricane Helene coming directly up from Cuba, which just impacted Cuba as a tropical storm and put some storm surge on them, like I said last video, and a hurricane warning has also been in effect for places like Cancun, Mexico, but also Florida. Florida is going to be hit by this hurricane. When? I will show you that in a minute. But Category 4 Hurricane Helene will crash into Florida tomorrow. I will probably be going live around like 3 o'clock-ish. Depends on what time I get home from school. I believe I get home from school around like 3 to 3:30, so I'll probably be putting my live stream up while I'm on the bus. And then right when I get home, first I'll see how the activity is doing. If it really ain't doing that good, then I'll stop. But then, where is it going to go from there? It's going to become a hurricane. Still going to be a hurricane up into Albany, Georgia. But then, this stuff really ain't confirmed yet. The depressions and the tropical storm, that really ain't confirmed yet. Honestly, I'm thinking it might not stop there at Tennessee and go all throughout that weird little area. I'm thinking it's gonna go directly up towards Ohio Valley, because that's what most of the models are trying to suggest, is that it might actually get split up into two. The hurricane might actually die off and split up into two, one heading for the Ohio Valley, another heading for Missouri, Illinois, and Arkansas. So far the area we got is kind of the same from yesterday when I posted a video about it. But Wednesday at 8 p.m., which it's currently in Florida time zone, which is Eastern, same time zone as us, it just reached 8 a.m. So, you folks down in Key West, you could be feeling some of the wind from this Hurricane Helene. Thursday at 2 p.m., it starts to get more serious, that's when it kind of wants to strengthen up a little bit. Well, it's going to strengthen up around like 2 p.m., but people all the way over here in places like Miami and near Tampa, you guys could be feeling the winds too. Thursday around 8 a.m., that's probably when it's going to be like the most serious, because I believe that's when the tornado threat's going to kind of start. But Thursday around 8 a.m., places like Orlando and possibly all the way over into New Orleans could be feeling the wind. Thursday around 2 p.m., which is probably the time I'm going to be going live around that time, people over in Alabama and Georgia could be feeling some wind from this Category 4 hurricane, maybe even a Category 5. There's still time for it to develop. Then Thursday around 8 p.m., that might be when I'm ending my live stream. There will be wind from Atlanta, all the way from upper Alabama to upper South Carolina. So if you look over here, now it's starting to get more serious. People in Cuba right now are feeling 90 plus mile per hour winds. People in places like Tallahassee, you could be feeling some of that wind here soon too. So just watch out if you're in any of the pink, the purple, the red, the yellow, or the orange. If you're in the green, I would still be very concerned if you're in the green right now, because it's still going to get pretty serious. And we're not going to talk about this Mexico storm, because this thing, I have no clue what's doing. It's just circling Mexico now. And this is pretty much... So this is currently the new map of the rainfall. What it's showing is around our impact zone, there could be up to 12 to 16 inches of rain in our impact zone, which is just near Tallahassee, probably around Panama City, if I'm getting that right. But the thing we got to be concerned about, Ohio, you can continue to be concerned. If you're in the yellow, if you're in any of this color, I would try to be more concerned than you are right now. And this will update. Ohio will probably have more green and yellow, and so will Kentucky. But if you look over here, you can see some pink near Knoxville and Charlotte. That's around the Appalachian Mountains and around the Great Smoky Mountain State Park. You guys in that zone right now could be experiencing 20 inches of rain. We got a flash flood risk it's a high risk of flash flood. For majority, this is tomorrow. This is for majority of people in Tallahassee. So Tallahassee, you'll have probably the greatest risk of seeing floods tomorrow. That's going to be my biggest concern for the Tennessee folks and the North Carolina folks, as it is along the Appalachian Mountains, is mudslides and landslides, which are kind of the same thing, but I don't really think there's going to be much. Well, there's probably going to be a lot of flooding over there. I know there's already majority of flash flood warnings over there due to yesterday's storm that hit Ohio, which, you know, Mr. Ryan Hall, y'all said there probably ain't going to be that many tornado warnings. Well, he didn't say it like that, but he said he'll be surprised if he sees his tornado warning with that. Well, there was like 10, and there was 2 confirmed tornadoes. One actually, like, not too far from me, like 20 minutes away. I almost got put under a tornado warning, believe it or not, yesterday. But let me stop rambling around about random stuff, and let's get on to the next part. So for the day 1 risk for mainly anything is a marginal risk for Houston, Texas, Charlotte, North Carolina, New Orleans, Louisiana, Atlanta, Georgia, and Miami, Florida. So if you look at this, there is I would say the whole state of Florida is under a marginal risk today, with a tornado risk too. This marginal risk over here extends all the way up into Charleston, West Virginia, and then the one down here goes from New Orleans to Corpus Christi. And then we got a random little risk up here that will probably produce some stuff, mainly hail and wind. I don't expect to see a tornado up there today. This risk probably ain't really that much of a threat up here, but I would still keep an eye on it if I was you up there. In anywhere in this little risk, I would still keep an eye on this tiny little thing, because it might develop into something. Like I said, there is a 2% tornado risk with this, including this tornado risk includes Charlotte, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, Florida, Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, and other places that includes Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, Tallahassee, and Columbus. So if you're in any of those places, keep an eye out for the rest of the day, as there might be some more tornadoes that pop up around this area. I don't know. The tornado threat's really low, but yesterday the tornado threat was a 2%, and it kind of blew up. There was multiple tornado warnings in Kentucky, multiple in Indiana, a few up into, believe it or not, Michigan, and a lot of tornado warnings in Ohio. And I believe there was 1 or 2 tornado warnings in West Virginia yesterday. No, it was Tennessee, yeah. And a couple in Virginia. So just look out for this. This is going to be possibly a big old storm. It's already been producing some tornado warnings, but not as much as yesterday. So one of the bigger risks is this. We got an enhanced risk for Savannah, Georgia, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, Hinesville, Georgia, Statesboro, Georgia, and Burnswick, Georgia. Then a slight risk for Jacksonville, Florida, Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, Orlando, Florida, and Gainesville, Florida. Then a marginal risk for Miami, Florida, Halley, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Pembroke Pines, Florida, and Tallahassee, Florida. I would see the enhanced risk expanding out into places like possibly Jacksonville, Charleston, and Orlando, and the slight risk going out for Tallahassee and possibly Fort Myers due to this being a major hurricane hitting the area tomorrow. There is also a 2% tornado risk. A 10% tornado risk with this. That 10% tornado risk includes Savannah, Georgia, Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, Hinesville, Georgia, Statesboro, Georgia, and Burnswick, Georgia. The other one includes Jacksonville, Florida, Tampa, Florida, St. Petersburg, Florida, Orlando, Florida, and Gainesville, Florida. And the 2% risk includes Miami, Florida, Halley, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, Pembroke, Florida, Pines, Florida, and Tallahassee, Florida. So there could be greater 10% or greater possibility of EF2 to an EF5 tornado within 25 miles of a point. So if you're anywhere in like this little 10% risk, you could see EF2 to EF5 range tornadoes. I would be very surprised to see an EF5 or even an EF4 today. I think the max tornado we are going to get, I hope it does not happen. I hope there's no tornadoes at all tomorrow. But if there is, I think the max tornado that we're going to get is an EF3 today. So So, day 3, which is Friday, there's a marginal risk for 18 million people. Charlotte, North Carolina, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Raleigh, North Carolina, Norfolk, Virginia, and Greensboro, North Carolina. You guys are all going to be experiencing some weather. I can put it at that. Some weather. I think this might expand over into places in Ohio and Kentucky and West Virginia a little bit more. But I don't know. Might even get a slight risk added to it. Who knows? But this has not had a tornado risk put out yet. So currently today we have a high risk of rainfall nearby the Great Smoky Mountains. Currently there's already been flash flood warnings being observed left and right. But there's really been quiet in the high-risk area. It's just been mainly the moderate risk that's been doing a lot of the damage. But there's been some stuff happening over here into the high risk. So day 2, which is tomorrow, there's a high risk for Tallahassee for rainfall, which will probably be pretty intense for the Tallahassee area. And then if we go up, there's also a high risk for almost Atlanta. But there's going to be a high risk for a little bit of the same places, but kind of not. Tennessee is going to get onto the high risk area. Tennessee, I would not be surprised for them getting a tropical storm warning tomorrow. Maybe in the Great Smoky Mountains region, or even up to Knoxville. Who actually knows? Depends on which way the storm's going, because for now it looks like it's going to cross through Nashville and then not know what it's doing. Still. Most models, though, are showing it going all the way up and crashing directly into Ohio, up in Dayton, Chillicothe, Columbus. One model, for some weird reason, shows it going up in Toledo. I doubt that's going to happen, but another model showing it going all the way back over here and crashing over here. And I'm confused on how that's going to happen, but okay, you can try. But, yeah. So this is the one that I'm kind of included in. I'm going to be down here Friday in this little general area, that county, and I'm going camping that day, so I'm not going to be able to live stream that day, sadly. If it was on a Tuesday, or if like today was a Tuesday, like yesterday, and Wednesday was when the storm was going to impact, and then Thursday would be nuts going on up here. I would have been live those 3 days, but I'm sadly only going to be live one day. This is Saturday. Is it? No, this is Friday. Friday there is a moderate risk for excessive rainfall all the way from Gallic to about Greenville. And nothing's really going on in Florida besides another marginal risk. And nothing's going up here besides that little thing that's going to go away. But just look out for this, though. This might be some big-time flooding along the Appalachian Mountains. If you look, the 6-day temperature outlook does not look good for us folks here in Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, and Colorado, because it's going to be very hot. There's a near normal temperature over here, and it's going to be a little bit cooler throughout the next few days over here in places that actually need it, but it's still going to be dry. And I'm going to show you. So in the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook, it's going to be above normal over here in places like New England and, of course, Florida. Florida is always above normal for precipitation and a little bit above where they don't need it because Seattle keeps on getting rain every single freaking day now. Alaska and Hawaii, of course, we don't need to talk about them. And then we got this big old below, very below average for precipitation over here. I think Ohio, people that's in the drought will still be getting rain, but it won't be as much as we actually want. Because we want a lot of rain. So we have our grass can be better. My grass is completely dead. And I guarantee every single person's grass in Ohio, unless you water it every single day or have a little treatment for it, is dead. So, yeah, that is the precipitation. So before we do a single thing, I want to check out over here where we're having these storms, see what's going on. So if we scroll it, you can see a little bit of a rain shower that's going to be passing through, maybe up to 0.080 possibly. Maybe even some snow up there, depends on how cold it is. Then we got another little thing trying to move in through the area. It misses the USA, luckily. Gives Washington some rain. By Friday, all that should be out of our hair over there. If you look over here, though, where, of course, we need the rain, Florida don't. See, sneaky old little hurricane Helene is going to sneak up. Around 8 a.m., it's going to be, look at that spin. That is a strong spin near Tampa. Tampa could be getting very heavy rain. Very heavy wind. I scrolled too far. And then if we continue on, see around 4 p.m., the tornado threat, this is where the tornado threat is up here. The tornado threat should be going on around that time, as there's going to be multiple storms that roll through. Then, around 6 p.m. is when the tornado threat really starts to get active around places like Tallahassee and Orlando, possibly. And it makes landfall right close to 11 p.m. 10 p.m. I think it's going to make landfall. It's 9 p.m. is what this is showing. Tallahassee. I feel so sorry. Let's go to Perry. Near Perry. 2.6 inches of rain. In Perry. Just in those 3 hours. And then if we look how big this storm is. It will be giving rain all the way up to Kentucky at this time. Then you can see places like Atlanta and Nashville, you will be getting slapped by this hurricane Friday around 5 p.m. Then we'll just watch it as it slams directly into Ohio. And down here, you can see the Ohio. Ohio is actually getting some wind. The Ohio will possibly getting some very heavy wind from this storm. Around 4 p.m. there could be very heavy wind. 5 p.m. and then 8 p.m. Friday. All this should be out of our hair. Maybe there'll probably still be some flooding concerns up here in Ohio, Indiana, and Tennessee, as Tennessee will be getting hit. Florida at this time will be getting a little bit of thunder showers near Miami and Key West, but nothing we really need to worry about. But there's something I really want to check out over here. So if you look over here, let's go back to about now. See something trying to spin up out there. That might be the new hurricane or tropical storm, Isaac. I'm thinking right here, Isaac's going to be a full-on storm Friday. Around Friday, possibly 8 a.m., 8 p.m., there will be Hurricane Isaac. Now, we don't know just yet if this is going to be a fish storm, like what the other hurricane did. Hurricane Francine did something. Forgot Gordon. Gordon was a fish storm. We don't know if Isaac's going to be a fish storm or if Isaac's going to slam directly into the Bahamas, but these hurricanes have been mysterious so far. Also, if you look over here, you can see the spin. There's major spin. Major rotation near Louisville from this hurricane at 8 p.m. Friday. It will probably be nothing at 8 p.m. Friday, but this is just what this radar is showing. This updates every single minute. So, I will have this linked below. And, yeah, that is honestly pretty much it. I will be live tomorrow. That's the next time you will see me, is tomorrow, Thursday, around 4 or 3. Probably around 3 would be best. Maybe around 4, though, because I might have homework and crap to do. But if not, then we will be good to go. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Hold on, I want to see my house real quick. They better show my house on here. They show, honestly, this is close enough to my house. Yeah, it shows that there could be a lot of rain around 5 p.m. around my house. But that is pretty much it. I will see you guys later on, possibly tomorrow. Well, definitely tomorrow. I am definitely going to be here tomorrow. Because look at this. In a single hour, 11 p.m., 1.92 inches of rain in Tallahassee. But all I want to say right now is Tallahassee, Big Bend area, up into Gatlinburg. From Tallahassee all the way to Gatlinburg, please, 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 if you have not evacuated yet, if you're in Tallahassee, Alabama, Macron, Athens, Atlanta, Andrews, Knoxville, you're probably fine for now. Asheville, I would say everybody that I've mentioned this video should evacuate. That's all I'm going to say about that, because this is going to produce mudslides up there into the Tennessee area, if you don't know, because Tennessee there reckoned to get mudslides. So if we look, let's see when this hurricane hits. So this is around 7 p.m. tomorrow. You can see the rapid amount of spin on this hurricane is crazy. This might be a Category 5 hurricane if I've ever seen one. I've seen a Category 5 hurricane before, and it looked similar to this kind of spin. But who knows? We'll find out tomorrow what will happen. I'm just hoping everybody in that area is going to be safe and they are all evacuated and everything is good with them. But yeah, that's it. Peace out and